Hello everybody and welcome back to Space Engine. As you can see, I turned on that filter, there we go, because the key binding to my recording software, I put it on different buttons and now it always turns on the 3D filter whenever I activate it, but that can be ignored. Anyways, it's been some time. At first it was just I wasn't feeling well a couple weeks ago, and then I was like, well, I'm going to wait for SN8 to finish up, Hayabusa 2 to arrive, and Changi 5 to arrive, because I want to talk about those, 'cause that's always really fun. And now everything has happened. There's a conjunction outside between Jupiter and Saturn. Unfortunately, it is snowing a lot, so I can't see it, but it's fine. Anyways, places to go, things to see. I was apparently like that nebula I went to was wrong, and I need to see it in the editor. I'm not entirely sure how to do that, but I'm gonna try an experiment. I don't know if it will work. It might not. Pretty sure this isn't how it's done. Yeah, I actually don't know where the editor is, but of course it's not. I haven't actually used it before. Nebulas. No, don't disable nebulas. What kind of monster would disable nebulas? Yeah, I've never actually used the editor in Space Engine, so I don't actually know where it is or how to use it. But, yeah. Ooh. Oh. That's settings. That's that. That's that. And that is that. Ah, that's locations. Nice colors. Pandora. Ringed planets. Colorful planets. Smile. Nice. Geonosis. Nerds. That's actually interesting to know. What else is here? Ooh. Well, that's just kind of pretty. Right, it's convenient and handy anyways. Hey, I've been there. I mean, in the game. In VR, it was quite interesting. I actually haven't used my VR headset in so long. Now, this is interesting. I'm getting some serious Elite Dangerous vibes from that. That's video capture settings. Oh, that was a screenshot. Well, whatever. Anyways, let us carry on. Now, I was asked to go... damn it, how do I copy paste? Well, I guess not. Can I go to the menu star? I can go to the menu star. Yeah, I had one copy and pasted. I was gonna go do, but apparently can't paste it anymore. So I'd have to tab out to grab it. I have no idea where it was. Wow, this is quite the ways away. Oop. Now it has planets. Well, it has a planet. I like planets. Planets are fun. Wow. Faster. Zoop. I mean, yeah, that's kind of pretty. Not much else to say about it. I like the nebula with the little star cluster in the middle, little planetary nebula. It's always kind of fun because you get this frequently in like star clusters where you have newborn stars in the planetary nebula, and it's just like like it's hollow, and that's because when these new stars ignite, they start like producing solar wind, and it basically blows out cavitations in the nebula in which they were born in. So you get these interesting patterns and stuff, and it's kind of cool. Like if you look at newborn stars in the Orion Nebula. They've, you know, hollowed out little cavitations and stuff. It's kind of fun. I have no idea what galaxy I'm in, but we're in a galaxy, so we're gonna go there. Alright, well, what's new in the world? Of course, SpaceX's SN8 did its flight, which was a lot of fun. It actually went a lot better than I thought, because I figured that it would launch, reach altitude, and then do the belly flop maneuver, and then just not right itself. Like, I thought it was going to go straight into the water, just boom, and it was going to be hilarious. But no, it actually managed to right itself and get into landing, like, position. But then it crashed, and I think it was because one of the engines cut out. Like, if you look at it, you can see the engines were having difficulties in the restart procedure, and there was green smoke coming out of one of them, so I think it was burning parts of the engine components, like the copper in it and whatnot. So yeah, the SN8 just kind of, well, it stuck the landing in our hearts, but not so much on the launch pad. Which I guess is something. Let's go here. But beyond that, we then had Hayabusa 2 return to Earth with asteroid samples from asteroid Ryugu, and I actually really enjoyed that. The live coverage for it was kind of weird because the person doing the commentation was speaking English, but heavy accent, and I found that kind of weird. It's like I get what they were trying to do, but it would have kind of made more sense to have a Japanese person just subtitle it for everybody else because it was a Japanese mission. But no, whatever. It went well. The camera work was great. Like seeing the actual spacecraft come in like through the atmosphere, that was a lot of fun. And then they grabbed it and off they went. It landed in Australia, and recently they tweeted about like on the Hayabusa Twitter, they tweeted that they showed some pictures of like the sample container and what all they grabbed, and it was really cool. A lot of asteroid pebbles. And then shortly after that, we had China's Chang'e 5 sample return mission return from the moon, and this one was like incredibly cool. Like I really like robotic sample returns, and this was the first one since I think the 70s. The Soviet Union was doing like their later Luna missions where they would land a spacecraft on the moon, and it would gather up samples, put them in a capsule, and launch it back to Earth. But the difference here was the Luna missions, the sample return missions, they were very mechanically basic. Like basically how it would work is they would land it on the moon in a place that like all you'd have to do to return to Earth is burn straight up in one direction. So I think they would kind of land kind of retrograde to Earth's orbit, so all it has to do is lift off the moon and keep going straight, and it'll eventually just bring itself down back to Earth. Kind of like in Kerbal Space Program, if you land on the Mun, and you just want to go back to Kerbin, you just lower your orbit. But Chang'e 5 actually did a lunar rendezvous with a robotic drive stage, transferred over the samples, and then it returned to Earth very precisely. And it was really cool because this hasn't been done with like robots before. So far, like before this, the only like lunar orbit rendezvous that have been conducted were with people on the Apollo missions. But now we've had robots do it, and it's really awesome. And a lot of the footage they were releasing was incredibly cool. Like seeing the launch, seeing the docking maneuver. You can even see, like, there's even one where you see the samples being transferred into the capsule, and the capsule gets closed, and it's really cool. It's a very pastel planet. So I was really enjoying that, and then it returned to Earth and went great. And it's like that's really cool. I'm glad that it worked out good. Like, I had a sixth one kind of pretty much done, and if this one had failed, then the sixth one would have basically done the same mission. But now that the Chang'e 5 succeeded, Chang'e 6 can go to the South Pole and do its mission there, and that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm really looking forward to seeing information from lunar South Pole samples. So yeah, and that's actually kind of why I was putting out this video, because I wanted to I was waiting for Chang'e 5 to kind of come back, and so I could talk about it. 'Cause I love robotic sample return missions. I would do them in KSP all the time because they're just fun. although there isn't much you can do in KSP. Well, imagination goes a long way. But, yeah, so that was great. In other news, not much is going on. The US is trying to censor the internet again, but they do that all the time. Which normally wouldn't be a problem because it's like, oh, it's just the Americans, but it's like they keep doing things that affect social media sites like Twitter and YouTube and all that, like things that affect the rest of the world. And it's coming to a point where it's like social media sites should either move to other countries or people should just stop using American-based companies because you can't trust you really can't trust the internet infrastructure in the United States. And it's mostly because the US government is run by people who largely, or by and large, have no idea how the internet operates. And quite a few actually have Alzheimer's too, which doesn't help. So it's like you have people who are, like, get this, more people in the United States government right now were born before the Vietnam War than there were people who were born after the NES was invented. So more people were born in the 60s and 50s in power than people who were born in the 80s. And that's really depressing. But then again, my opinions on that stretch to every country where it's like there should be an upper age limit to government. Like there's a lower age limit, obviously, but it's like if you're over the age of like 60, you shouldn't be allowed to run in a government. I'm sorry. I know that would just like disqualify a ton of US politicians, including, well, their next president, and their last president. But honestly, a maximum age limit needs to be set. Not to get political, but that's just a really big thing with me is I hate when you have politicians who are like in their like 60s and 70s and they're trying to dictate policy that affects basically everybody else but not them because it either they don't understand what they're doing or they're not going to be alive long enough for it to matter. And it really, really annoys me. So many of the climate deniers are like that though. I feel like they don't really care because they can make all their money they want, and then by the time the problems hit, they'll already be dead. So it's like, oh, it doesn't matter. What a curious little setup. This little potato asteroid moon. I like the shadow it's casting. That's really nice. And there was one down here, and one up there. How many moons does this have? 8. It has a ton of little asteroid moons. That's kind of fun. I like that. Actually, speaking of that, I saw a Twitter post a little while ago. Someone made a really good point, or not a point, but a question, where it's like, is there a possibility that Venus or Mercury could have a moon that we've not discovered yet? Like, what is the minimum mass required before we can actually detect it? And it was actually kind of a good question because, in my view, as an amateur astronomer and abigenic, what? Wait, it's terrestrial. Hang on. I would think that it would have to be very, not the thin atmosphere, very very small. Because like if it's big enough that it has a round shape, then we'd notice it by now from its gravity and just visually we'd be able to see it. And I was thinking like Mars's moons, Phobos and Deimos, and we detected those pretty quickly. But then again, those are outer solar system, Venus is inner solar system. But I still suspect that even a small asteroid moon would be detected around Venus, unless we were very unlucky, or it has a very, very wide orbit and we haven't associated it. And it's like, I don't think Venus would have a moon that we've not seen. I'm not gonna say 100% no, but I don't see it. I don't see a moon being able to hide from us that long. And considering we've sent quite a few things to Venus itself, Mars has had more attention, mind you. Everybody loves Mars. I love Venus personally, but that's just me. And then then there's the whole phosphine thing, and then people were like, "Oh, Venus is popular again," and I was like, "No, it's my time to shine." And it really warmed my heart to see Venus getting all popular. There's probably moons have life. Subglacial. Yeah, the whole phosphine thing. There's more doubt to it now because it's like reanalysis found that the levels were actually lower than were reported. Oh, there's planet shine on this. And you can see like there's the dark side, the sun side, and there's the planet shine side, which is light reflected off. Yeah, off the planet. That's kind of fun. The moon has earth shine. Anyways, and so there's still fairly credible evidence that there is phosphine in the atmosphere, but the levels might be lower than were previously thought, which makes the idea of it being just a natural occurrence makes that more likely. I mean, that already was the most likely outcome, but it's mildly disappointing. But then again, science doesn't really matter about feelings. I still think that we need to put more evidence or effort into looking for life on Venus or in the clouds of Venus, because aside for the phosphine, there's other interesting prospects. But no, if I had to guess, I would probably say the phosphine is probably natural and not biological. But hope still reigns eternal. We'll just have to go back and check. Which actually, I was talking to this company, and they make little chipsats, like little chip satellite kits. They're actually very reasonably priced, and I'm probably gonna get one for next year for a launch, probably later in 2021, so I can say I've actually had a satellite in orbit. But I was talking to them about longer ranges, and they made a comment that they're working on another version to go to the moon, like lunar orbit and all that. And I'm gonna see if I can get an in with some people and try to get something out either to the moon or further if I can somehow get away with it. It's all very unlikely, but it never hurts to try. And honestly, I find that just like asking questions and contacting people usually yields very good results. A microterra? Curious. Like, I've gotten a lot of very positive feedback and interesting information from scientists and people in various fields because I just ask. I'll just contact them, and it's like I don't care. I'll just contact them and see what happens. And a lot of times, people are actually quite happy to answer questions and talk back, so you don't have to worry about you're not annoying them. I guess is the correct way to say it. Oh, the planet has life, not the moon. How is this a microterra? I guess it's roughly round and it's terrestrial, like it's rocky. I guess. Cool. So yeah, so that's kind of my plans for next year is to do satellite work, and that should be fun. I also have my other rocket stuff I need to work on, and oh, that dumb peroxide engine I'm working on, like for a rocket. I need to source high proof peroxide from somebody. I'm probably gonna go to the university because, well, they should know, but we'll see. What galaxy is that? Oh, it's Andromeda. Wait, am I in the Milky Way? Hang on. I didn't think I was in the Milky Way. Oh, I was this entire time. Okay, I had no idea where I was, but apparently I'm a lot closer to home than I thought. Whoa, there's a diffuse nebula. Now similar to the one we started out with, from the menu star. Although it's different, it's not the same one, but it looks similar. Let's actually go into it and see what it's like. Kind of red, kind of spooky. The game almost crashed there for a second. Oh, that was tricky. Yeah, mostly just main sequence stars. And some, well, actually giants, I should say. They all have planets, though. A lot of them have planets, though. That's kind of nice. Well, yeah, I guess I'm gonna leave it off there because we're at 20 minutes now. So, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I'll be sure to make more. I'll try to be more frequent with them. I keep saying that, and I keep not doing it, but I honestly am trying. I just get really busy. Either I alternate between busy and sick, which makes doing YouTube, like, harder because YouTube's a lower priority for me compared to other things. It's like if I'm not feeling sick, I'm either doing sculpting, game development, 3D modeling, 3D printing, like just stuff like that, things that make me money. And YouTube tends to be an afterthought, which is kind of sad. But again, I need money, and YouTube doesn't pay me anymore, so yeah. But I'll try to do more. I'll do more Gmod stuff too. People seem to like that. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and space.